At 11 o'clock on the 3rd of June 1971, a rare Stradivarius violin, known as the Lady Blunt, was to be auctioned in a sale of musical instruments. This film starts 24 hours earlier at the preview. The place, Sotherby's, London.
Recording an interview for In Concert for BBC Radio London, interviewing Mr. Howard Ricketts at Sotheby's about the Stradivarius violin. Can we get on and talk a bit about the sale tomorrow,
yes,
which is, I think, going to be tremendously exciting. You see musician after musician coming in here to see all the instruments, but this violin in particular. Who's going to buy it?
It's impossible to say. It's very difficult. It could be a dealer acting for a principal. It could be a collector, possibly. It could be a patron who will then lend it to somebody else, to a young up-and-coming musician, possibly to play. But it's virtually impossible.
Do you know some of the people who are going to be bidding for it tomorrow?
I know a lot of the people who are going to be bidding for it tomorrow. One always speculates before every big lot is sold.
Are many of them musicians?
Several of them are, in fact, dealers who act for musicians. But a lot of them, in fact, are either professional or amateur musicians themselves.
Yeah, all round here, round there. Very soon. Robert Adams, the Daily Telegraph. I believe you will be at the auction tomorrow.
Yes.
Will you bid yourself?
Not for our company, no. I might or might not bid for somebody else, depending how hot the bidding gets.
What price do you think the violin will make tomorrow?
Well, I've got 10 shillings on it making £52,000 on the Sotheby's book.
That'd be a record.
It'll be a pretty good price. I don't know about a record.
I've never actually gone beyond £23,000 before as an auctioneer. I think this violin will realise more than that. And
Will be a record?
Well, yes, it will be. It will be a record. It fetches more than 22,000.
I come from Stockholm.
Yes.
I came from Los Angeles.
Will you be bidding for the Strad?
Yes, I will be bidding for the Strad tomorrow.
Will you face a lot of competition from fellow American dealers tomorrow?
Yes, I recognize even some American dealers here already. They came specially for this instrument to bid.
I gather it is most remarkable that it should be in this condition after over 2 centuries.
Yes, well, it was made in 1721. And really there's nearly all the varnish, or a lot of the varnish is left on it. There's a certain area here which is missing, and here, and also it was the fashion in the 18th century to play the violin with the chin on the other side, and so you have this area which is missing here.
They're on the right side of the violin.
On the right side.
I don't think I've seen a violin like that before.
No, but it looks more or less new, and the perfecting is so perfect, and all the corners are wonderfully sharp.
There aren't all that many Stradivarius in this particular condition. There are probably half a dozen to a dozen which are in finer condition after this one, but the chances of any of those coming on the market is very rare, so this is a unique occasion. Most people, when they see a Stradivari, expect to see something which has rather more wear, corners and edges perhaps a little bit more ravaged by the players, but this one is exceedingly pure from that point of view.
You have owned it before, I understand.
No, we negotiated its sale to the present owner, Mr. Bloomfield, on the behalf of a Swiss colleague of ours about, I think, 15 years ago.
And have you played this Stradivarius?
Yes, I have. I played on it about 2 years ago when I stayed with the present owner of the violin, who lives in Los Angeles. He's now actually living in Palm Springs in California. When I stayed with him to talk about and to advise him on his gun collection, basically, I then discovered he had these marvelous violins, and we used to play duets in rather amateur fashion together.
Why is he selling this one?
I think mainly because he's now moved to Palm Springs, which is out in the desert. It's about 2 hours by car from Los Angeles, and it's been kept in a bank vault for the last year or two. And you have to have humidifiers there to make certain it doesn't crack, and it's more or less incubated, you might say, in a way. And you have all these controls and things, and he's been ill recently, and I think it was just too tiring to really to maintain constant control over all these machines, which kept it in prime condition.
What is that? Can it be Fulvi Gagliano?
Thank you.
I didn't.
I'll just tell you right now. Get it back.
It's a marvelous fiddle. It's a marvelous fiddle.
You've owned it before.
I owned it from 1941 to 1959.
And did you play the violin?
We play. I scratched on the violin a bit too, yes, and my son plays very well.
No.
And I think it's a gorgeous fiddle.
What do you think about the price? What is it like?
I have no idea. I couldn't give you any price. I know what I received at the time, but I couldn't like to mention that because that is no relation to what it will fetch today.
Will you bid yourself tomorrow?
Up to a certain price, that's all. And I shan't get it. You can rely on I shall not get the fiddle.
I've had the price of 40,000 mentioned. Do you think that's a little bit higher?
That's an enormous figure for the fiddle. I don't think it's worth that.
No.
But I'm afraid it will go that high. What do you think?
It's a second Messiah.
Yes, indeed. May I please?
Yes, Messiah. After you, sir.
The other one.
Sorry, was that something? There are a small number of collectors in the world, and if they ever want to be offered a violin like this in their lifetime, they've more or less got to buy this one.
It could be a surprise bidder.
Absolutely, yes. I mean, that's what auctions always produce.
How far would you go in the bidding? You want to keep that?
See about that in the morning.
It's
It's had a chin rest on the wrong side.
No, well, that was the mark before the chin rest was used.
Oh, so they used a chin on that side?
Yeah.
I know that Sotheby's were thinking in terms of about 40,000 when they first put it up for sale. I understand this figure's now sort of gone from 40 to 50, but it's anybody's guess. If you get two people to whom it's a matter of prestige that each should be seen to buy it, and they've both got unlimited funds, well, you can get any sort of crazy situation developing.
Marvelous condition.
Yes, wonderful.
Do you mind if I put a glass in?
If you'll do it very gently. That. There is a patch, actually. I can tell you straight away.
It is.
There is, in fact, a patch.
All right, yes. Can't hurt it.
We bid tomorrow?
Well, I may well be beyond my reach because, as I said before, there's people who buy like stamps. They buy it for an investment, for its value. It can never be an intrinsic value. But for me, I would only buy it to play. I have one or two very nice violins.
Oh, this is about the best scroll I've ever seen. Oh, yes, magnificent. See, Elder?
Yes.
Never was could it be. What an artist. Thank you very much.
Wonderful.
Wasn't it lovely?
I don't think a dealer would ever buy this instrument for himself. It's too expensive. I think some sort of private person will actually buy it, either directly or indirectly.
If you want to talk about condition, for example, you will notice that the neck is the original neck yet, which is something very rare. There are maybe 3-4 strads left in the world with the original neck, you know. The varnish is all there intact, all there to be seen. It's all the original varnish. It's almost frightening. It's so beautiful and so pure, you know, so pristine. And the choice of wood, the model, the flat model, it's also a solo instrument. You know, I heard that fiddle play, and it's one of the main solo instruments and one of the most beautiful styles I've ever seen.
Now you will be at the auction tomorrow.
Certainly.
Will you bid for it?
I certainly will try to snatch it.
What price do you think it might go?
I won't discuss price at this point.
No,
but I'd be glad to talk to you tomorrow about prices.
You feel lucky about getting it?
Certainly.
You'll take it back to New York.
The only way to buy it is to be optimistic.
Yeah. Good. Do you have a client for it?
I won't discuss that either. This is all for tomorrow. Surprise.
You know, every day we get 2 or 3 which have got Stradivari labels in them. And we get 2 or 3 letters a day, if not more than that. And after this sale, we'll just be flooded. It's always the same way. Once we've sold a Stradivari, then on, we'll get sort of just an enormous mail. People who found them in the attic.
Will you be bidding yourself?
Well, that's a jolly leading question, but I really don't think I could discuss that with you.
No.
As far as personal feelings go, the chances are that it'll go for a very, very high price. It's not the sort of thing that I'd care to buy.
No, you wouldn't have a specific client for an instrument like this.
I might have. I might not.
Ça va bien? C'est merveilleux de voir, hein?
beautiful fiddle.
Very even.
Oh, beautiful. Yes, it is. Beautiful fiddle.
Mr. Menuhin, will you be bidding for it yourself?
No, I will not be bidding for it myself. I'm not that covetous. I have a wonderful Strad of my own, 1714, the Suave, and that enables me to look with a certain equanimity on the most beautiful other Strads in the world. It's like being married with a lovely wife. You can look at any other lady.
How does this one rate next to the ones you've got?
It rates very, very closely. It's in the same class. It's in the superb class, shall I say.
Can I ask you one more thing?
Yes?
How will you feel if whoever buys it isn't a musician and it doesn't get played?
It depends how it's looked after. I want to see these instruments actually looked after well, beautifully cared for, kept out of damp, drafts, heat, excessive dryness. And there are some of my colleagues who look after their violins beautifully, and I would not begrudge them a lovely instrument like that. But there are others who look after them so badly, I'd rather see the violin in the hands of a responsible collector.
Even if it's never played?
Even if it's never played, yes.
Oh, I think it's a horrible idea.
As long as
it's like buying yourself a contralto and then putting a cork in it.
I think it's very worrying.
No, but it depends entirely how well it's looked after. Obviously, a violin that's never played, it's a pity. And the reason why this violin is in such good condition is that it was kept by a collector.
Yes.
Now, I have great respect for the collectors, provided they look after the instruments and provided they lend them very wisely to violinists who look after them.
Is there any doubt in your mind, now that you've played it, that it is a Stradivarius?
If it isn't, it's an incredibly good imitation.
Thank you very much.
Could you play it again for us?
Lovely fiddle. Well, whoever is going to be the lucky owner, I hope they will be worthy of this instrument.
Mr. Ricketts, your call to Los Angeles is through now.
Could I speak to Mr. Sam Bloomfield?
Speaking.
Sam? Hello, it's Howard here.
Well, hello, Howard.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Hope you're well.
Yes, very well indeed. I'm really ringing up about the sale tomorrow. There's been tremendous interest in the violin. It really has been a marvellous view. Yehudi Menuhin was here playing the violin. It really has been tremendous. Everyone has been full of praise of it. And I'm just sort of really reporting to say how well it's going.
I'm very glad to hear that. I'm very glad to have you report to me on it.
I feel very confident the sale is going to be a huge success, in that there are many more dealers in London than I've ever known before. I think the Lady Blunt has sort of drawn a lot of people to London. In fact, we're Mom is issuing tickets for the sale tomorrow.
I'm very glad to hear that.
What I'll do is to telephone you shortly after the sale to give you the results. But do you mind being got up at 4 o'clock in the morning, though?
I don't mind that at all.
Good. You'll be impatient to hear the result, will you?
Well, sure. I'll be glad to hear the result.
Well, I'll be in touch, as I said, tomorrow, and we'll keep our fingers crossed.
Very good. You call me if you're anxious to hear from me.
Okay, fine. Bye, Sam.
Okay, bye.
in fact, acknowledge that one, I think.
Do you feel that you might make the winning bid?
Well, you will see, have you seen a kite fly?
No.
You will see around 40,000 pounds. You will see there will be a kite flying in the sky. Then it will come down somewhere a little later.
Will you go in at the beginning of the bidding or towards the end?
Any place around the bidding, I'll be in there.
Just a moment, Doc. Mr. Merrill. Good morning. Very well. I'm delighted to see you here. I'm all for starting at a reasonable figure. What do you think?
I thought perhaps 10 might be.
Yes.
I know something who I think we'll start off at.
Well, I think that's excellent.
Yes.
Excellent. I think if we start off higher, first of all, the thing is over so rapidly, and secondly, it loses its drama. Sometimes it's better just to do what comes into your head at the moment.
Yes.
I've had disaster when I decided what I'm going to do. Because at the very moment of the sale, you have some instinct, don't you?
I hope it's going to fetch big.
Oh, it will.
I hope it will, anyway.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
You're going to get it or not? I don't know. It's going to fetch an awful lot of money, I think. And we might just make it, but I rather doubt it at this point.
You're not going to really bid for it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, certainly.
Do you think you're going to go
rather fiercely, but I think it's going to fetch a lot of money, and I think there are one or two people around who'll more or less kill people to get it.
Do you think it's going to be you?
I shan't kill anybody. I might get it.
Well, thanks. Oh my God, that's a hell of a question.
Yes. Will you go into the bidding early on?
If I bid at all, and I don't know yet whether I'm interested.
You might make your mind up during the auction.
Maybe. I see there's a colleague of mine over there. I'm sure.
Fine, good.
Let's go have a look. Bye-bye. Bid is near me at 2,000. Against with the back. At 2,000 then. On my right at 2,000. All down at £2,000. On my right. Next time. Lot 21, the Lady Blunt. Lot 21, £10,000 started. 10,000 is bid at 10,000, 12,000, 14,000, 16,000, 18,000, 20,000, 22,000, 24,000, 26,000, 28,000, 30,000, 32,000, against you, 34,000, 36,000, 38,000, 40,000, 42,000, 43,000, against you, at 43,000 pounds, the bid is on my right at 43,000, 44,000, 45,000, 46,000, 47,000, at 47,000 pounds on my right at 47,000, at 48,000, you place 49,000, 50,000, against you, 52,000, 54,000, 55,000, 56,000, 57,000, 58,000, 59,000, 60,000, 62,000, 64,000, 66,000, 68,000, 70,000, 72,000, 74,000, 76,000, 78,000, 80,000. At 80,000 pounds, the bid is on my right at 80,000. At 80,000 pounds, then on my right at 80,000, 82,000, 84,000. At 84,000 pounds, against you in the centre at 84,000. So then on my right at 84,000, against you in the centre, all done at 84,000. At 84,000 then on my right, all done, hills.
What's the price? What did you think about the price?
Well, mind, we're going to lose this. It's a terrific lot of money, but it's a terrific instrument. So here we are.
Can you say who the bar is?
No, it's a private person who wants to remain anonymous. He's an old colleague and friend of ours, and I'm afraid that's as far as I can go.
Is he a collector?
Yes.
Will he be played?
No, he's a colleague of mine as well. Nothing to do with it.
Will the instrument be played?
Oh yes, very much so.
Is he in public performances or not?
No, I shouldn't think so. No, he's a private person who's a collector who appreciates these things, and I think he'll get a great deal of pleasure out of it. It's an ambition of his, and he's now fulfilled it.
How excited are you about this?
Well, I'm very, very pleased for my customer, because I know he'll be delighted, and I'm very pleased for myself.
How does it feel to spend in a minute like that as much as some people earn in a lifetime?
Rather frightening.
Sam? Hello, it's Howard here.
Yes, hello.
Hello, the Violin did very well indeed. Now, you know, we had hoped originally for between 40 and 50,000 pounds on it. Well, it fetched more than that. It fetched more than 50,000. It fetched more than 50,000. It fetched more than 60,000 pounds. It fetched more than 70,000 pounds. It fetched, in fact, 84,000 pounds.
I don't believe.
It's absolutely fantastic. Which in dollars, I worked it out very briefly. It's not the exact amount, but I think it comes out to roughly $201,000 for the Lady Blunt.
My goodness, I never expected anything like that.
No, it really is fantastic, isn't it?
Howard, you and Sotherby have done a terrific job.
Well, thanks, Sam.